What is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York calling from Zoom again, and this time we return with Netta of Smackbound. It is great to be able to talk with you. Thanks for being here.
It's great to be here, Alex. Thank you.
Yeah, anytime, anytime. This is our third chat together. First time was for the release of 2020, and then again with your project with Nor from Battle Beast. So it's great to be able to talk with you again. The new album, Hostage, is absolutely amazing. Such an evolutionary jump between two albums, I would say. Being that this is the sophomore album, they say you have your whole life to make your first record, but only a few months to make your second record. How did Hostage sort of come to be? Was the intention to just pick up where you left off after 2020, or was this meant to almost be kind of like a new beginning for Smackbound?
It's I don't like to kind of analyze and think about things too much, so I don't plan ahead what I'm gonna do because I don't believe that's like how music should be made. So it kind of wrote itself, and it was very because, like you said, the pace was very quick, uh, especially in the end and getting the rest of the songs together. So this process was very intuitive in a way. So I had to trust my gut a lot. And I just wanted to be free, like in on the first album and on everything I do. Freedom is very important to me, artistic freedom, and I didn't want to kind of start thinking about it too much because I could have, started to stress like what to do after the first one and how not to fuck things up.
Hmm.
So, but I really felt there was a there's a great pressure with the deadlines. So in that way, it was high stress situation, and I was so pressed. I stayed up for like 58 hours, before we got the album to the mastering.
Wow.
So yeah, didn't sleep at all. But after that, I was dead.
It paid off.
But I was just doing yes, yeah. But I did like we worked for the last minute. I was still doing like Japan bonus track. I was singing it, and we were like singing and mixing and editing all at the same time. So it was like very very high stress situation in the end. And the Japan bonus was like I uh, I was singing it the night before the mastering. So it was like really, 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 and it was 2 a.m. here, and my husband was asleep, and I was trying to not wake everybody up. So I was like, I will sing this like as quietly as possible. So that's how the chat out was got to be what it is. I don't know if you've heard that, but yes, it was like very intuitive, and in the moment, there was a lot of kind of many things were made the way because it was that moment. It was in the moment. I chose a lot of things, but I loved it because it was so intuitive, and I kind of felt that I really can trust the feeling, so I don't have to overanalyze and perfectionize everything,
Hmm.
all the time. So that was kind of a good thing that came out from this kind of working, which I don't love when I'm pressured when doing art. But of course, there's a business and there's deadlines, and you have to do that. But here I kind of learned that I can do it. I can trust the first feeling that I have, and it's okay. So that was a very kind of a present I got to take out from this one.
Well, I've had the privilege of hearing the whole album, and it's absolutely amazing. But for people who haven't heard the full album yet, do you feel that the first singles that we heard so far, Change and Imperfect Day, is a good representation of what all of Hostage is going to sound like? Or is there a lot more of the surface to be scratched?
No, they don't tell a story of what the album is about. They are kind of sides of it, but there is totally different kind of levels on the album than those. why we chose Change and Imperfect Day to be the singles. Uh, we wanted to, first of all, Change. I wanted something because Change was something we wrote back in when COVID hit. It was summer 2020 when we lost all our gigs. And we went with Tuomas and Vili to the summer camp, like summer cabin. And it was the day we were like, we went to write songs, and then we end up drinking a lot of wine. And we woke up in the morning, all of us feeling like we all want to go home, a little hangover and kind of tired. And then I said that let's do mimosas. And Tuomas doesn't even drink wine at all, but he took mimosa also, and we all took mimosas. And then all of a sudden we made this change. And for us, it's like this bubbly. It's like all the positive in a very hard situation where we were living in 2020, summer 2020, when with no job and not knowing what's going to happen in the world. But we got, that I said that changes the bubbles of champagne and sparkling wine. So it's so light and it makes us feel so good and positive. And we wanted to start with this because still the world is quite heavy.
Of course.
So we wanted something different. We didn't want to, come out with the more heavy songs on the album. It was intentional to kind of do this lift up.
Yeah.
And yeah, but like you asked, there's a lot more to it. It's not the whole game there. No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because when I listen to an album such as 2020 and I listen to an album like Drive It Like You Stole It, for example, there's like a lot of groove. It's down and dirty in a way. And, I would say that Hostage, I feel like there's almost kind of like a more, and I mean it as a compliment, like a more vulnerable aspect behind it. Like a track like Imperfect Day shows a side of you emotionally that I haven't seen, whether it would be on the last Smackbound record or your Lorraine Lohimo collaboration. So is it fair to say that maybe with this album you're expressing more of your own personal emotion and you're kind of maybe what there was an essence of sort of like confronting aspects behind it? Because I also think when I look at the album artwork and with a title like Hostage, in a way I feel like that there is sort of like a darker attire that maybe represents maybe emotions taking you over, or with the pressure of the deadline kind of holding you hostage in a way. I don't like to use the word negative because there's I'm not having a negative experience at all listening to this album, but I feel like it is like a little bit more true with its emotion and more raw. If I'm correct?
Yeah, it is. It has a lot, because a lot has happened since 2020, and the times have been rough, and my personal health problems have been an issue for me. Like my whole life kind of came to shatters, and I had to face a lot of hard things. And finally, I'm better now, so everything's okay. But it made me, because I didn't know if I'm able to sing again. I didn't know if I'm going to lose my voice, and if I'm going to be able to, ever tour or have live gigs, because I didn't know if my physique will take it, and I didn't know because I lost my voice because of my health issues, my disease. So I kind of was in a very vulnerable situation, because since I've been born, I've been thinking like my whole, like how I see myself is as a singer, a songwriter. So it was like very hard to confront that I might not do that, even though I feel I'm a singer, but I might not sing again. And a lot of time it was also a struggle to sing, doing these recordings, because my health was not so good. So I was like, okay, I can't sing today. Okay, I can't sing tomorrow. I can't. And okay, now I'll try. And it was not easy. And then, I think you can hear that, like everything that, like I'm very raw there in a way that it's it is like bittersweet. Everything is so bittersweet there.
Yeah. I again like the emotion that's demonstrated in here I think is very relatable and very like it gave me chills in a way. Like and it's funny too, a lot of bands that I've interviewed that were releasing their debut during 2020, like during the pandemic, and are now releasing their second album or their EP or something like that, all have gone through sort of like a similar revelation in a way. I think in the end there has been somewhat of an advantage of a band releasing or making their debut album during 2020, because now the changes of the world I think coincided with the changes that they were experiencing. And to be able to address this sort of emotion, obviously it's I think it's very inspirational, and clearly it creates an essence of catharsis and a good release. But do you think that that could also maybe make the songwriting in a way rather deteriorating, or maybe even maybe being dramatic here, but like being traumatizing in a way? There's sort of like an art to confronting your demons in a way where I feel like sometimes it could be counterintuitive if you're making art about it. If I'm
For me, I don't think so, because quite frankly, the demons I have, or how I do what I write my songs about, the the scars are much older than what has happened in the 2 years. So, um, what I'm struggling with is something that has been there for a long time. What I write the songs about is something that has always kind of been there for me, um, and it's not kind of like it's changed me so much. Uh, and one thing that was very like has been very clear to me all the time with Smackbound is that I already said with the first album that I'm taking it somewhere. I know where it's going, and this is like it goes from the 2020 to somewhere. And even though I don't kind of plan it, but it's a feeling I have where the music is going. It is a road of healing in a way from the 2020, and this is kind of the release moment. There's a lot of struggle on this album, but it's intentional to have the struggle and the release here, because um, I wanted people to have that experience and be safe in feeling these emotions, and end up, hopefully, that's I wish that when you listen to the whole album, in the end, when it ends and the silence is there, I really hope that everybody feels good and released. So I've always wanted to end up with something better that you started with.
Well, and a band is also a collaborative effort, and so when it comes to expressing your own emotions on it, whether it would be for Smackbound or with Lorraine Lahima, does everybody need to be kind of in the same emotional headspace in order to write this music together in a way? Or is it better if you're all feeling a little bit differently, and that can maybe allow you to express different sides of the band and different sides of your sound?
No, we don't have to be in the same motion. It's we work really well. We mainly do the songs with Thomas and Billy, so three of us, and we work extremely well together. So we have a kind of a pattern how we do the songs, and everybody's have their own kind of piece in the puzzle, and not everybody has to, because when we write the songs, compose them, we're having fun. We're in a light atmosphere. We usually go away to the summer cabin and just be free and just play around. We have a little free time from our real lives. We're just there and making music, and we kind of just let all feelings come and work with them. And it's like we play first. We start like, what are we going to do? Let's do like should we do a slow song or a more up tempo song? What should we do? What key should we do it from? And then we play around. And usually then when we have some kind of a background, some chords there to have some kind of structure, the guys go out to for a smoke, or just go there, and I usually sing that. I come up with the song line, like the melody. the singing melodies, and then they come back and they come to listen like what's there, and it's very like easy because I listen to what we've done, and then we listen. I sing the song, and then they come to sing, and then we talk about it. How would you feel about it? Do we all feel the same way that it should be like this, or should we change something in it? Maybe we do a different kind of C part, the singing melody, maybe, or maybe we change the background here. It doesn't add up to it, like it doesn't work. And only after that, I do the lyrics like in a total different mindset. So, but I don't choose what they are, what I write about. The songs choose it. So I listen to the song and it tells me what it's about. I never have any themes. The songs tell me what they are about. It's the music that speaks.
And sometimes you are working on a song though for days or weeks, months even. In a way, you mentioned that Change, is technically already a 3-year-old song in a way. So like when you work on something for a long period of time, is it harder to sort of maintain that emotion that initially sparked the idea, or like kind of like capture that moment in a way?
I think it captures the moment because, like, every time I hear Change, I feel better. Like, it makes me smile. I got the same feeling that I had then on the summer camp, having the mimosas and laughing, because everything was wrong in the world and everyone was unsure about the future. And it was a moment that was kind of bottled in the song. And it's there. It's forever there. It doesn't change.
If you go back and revisit this material, like when you're performing them and you're playing songs from 2020 and Hostage, does it almost kind of put you back in the same sort of mindset as you were when you first wrote it in a way, or when you're bringing it into a live presence and it's already been experienced by people, that maybe the song develops a new meaning as you bring it out into the world more and more?
I don't try to keep things stagnant. I let them be. So I don't think about that too much. When I perform the songs, I'm trying to be as honest to the song as possible. So I'm always trying to feel it as much as possible. And sometimes it might not be the same exact experience or feeling what it was when I wrote the song, but I get a new story and feeling from it. And a lot of times the songs take me back also to whatever I'm writing about, to that moment or thing in my life.
And being between 2020 and now, you did have as I mentioned, the collaboration with Nora from Battle Beast, which is still a fantastic, if you call it duet in a way, it's one of the most powerful duets I've ever heard in a way. Like, did
Thank
maybe
you.
exploring that open some new doors for what you would bring into Smackbound between 2020 and now?
Not really, because Laura and Elohima is like, in my perspective, it's total different genre. Like it has nothing to do with Smackbound music. For me, of course, you can probably hear that it's still, the same songwriters there, but for me, it's a totally different. I I think of it as a more classic metal album, as in way how I kind of perceive it or want to perceive it. And Smackbound kind of is outside genres for me. It's kind of, I'm an Indiana Jones there. I feel like I'm exploring something unknown, and I just don't think about what it is. Like I don't, I could do like I don't know what the next album is gonna like. I know it's going somewhere, but let's see what it's going to be then. But I didn't, in a way, and because we wrote many of these hostage songs before we started Laura and Lohima.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so we wrote like 5 songs of this hostage album in summer 2020, and we started Laura and Lohima in autumn 2020. So they were kind of parallel, and for me they were separated in styles and how I kind of perceive them. It's but of course, everything that you do kind of adds up to your like of course, everything changes you, and all the time you kind of carry them along with you, and you can take away something from all that you experience. So yeah, but it was a for me, this is the unknown Smackbound, but it is known in my heart. And the other one was more like, okay, let's do a great metal album.
I think maybe you should do a tour where you perform with both projects. That would be pretty impressive.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. It would be fun. And
Yeah,
then there would be Nora can be with her band.
yeah.
So having like there's three bands.
Yeah, do it. That would be great. That would be an amazing, like, you two opening up the show together, and then we get a full Smackbound tour
Yeah.
show and a full Battle Beast show. I think that would be an epic night. Let's make that happen.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Let's hope that will happen.
yeah, of course.
It would be
So
cool.
So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for coming back on the show, and most of all, thank you for this amazing album. I think a lot of people are going to resonate with the emotion that's demonstrated on here, and I can't wait for more people to hear Smackbound thanks to it. Just what else can we be expecting from Smackbound in the future in terms of tours or other new music in the future? Please come to the States. I hope that's somewhere in the final plug.
We would really love to. Uh, the thing is that touring takes money, and as you know, we're a small band, so it goes. The thing is that small band has to pay to play, and we are in a situation where we are professional musicians, all of us in the band. So no one's. It's very hard to kind of start paying to play, and we don't have a support system so that we would get any tour support from the label or anything like that. So it's very hard um, in to actualize that dream, because then there would have to be someone who would kind of help with the touring, with the tours and the expenses. But it would be great, and we hope that in some way or another it will happen sooner or later. That everything comes together and start working so that we can tour abroad also,
Mm,
because that would be cool.
yeah, never say never. One day, one day.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, we'll smuggle you all in here if we have to. But
yes, that would be great.
but thank you so much, everybody. We are here with Smackbound. Be sure to check out the new album Hostage, coming out April 21st via Frontiers. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we will see you next time.
Thank you, Alex.